Hi, and welcome to Create Love Arts. My name is Sharon, and today I'm going to teach you how to, this is kind of part 2 of the corner to corner video and technique. We have already learned how to increase, and I will link that video, but we learned how to do the increase, and now it's time to square it off and do the decrease. Now, there are a couple different ways to do this. Depending on if you want to make a rectangle or a square. I'm simply just going to make a square here. I have, at this moment, I'm on row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You count these, not each individual stitch. But I have the 5 little squares here, and we are going to learn how to do the decrease. So here's how you do that. I've just finished off that 5th row, and I'm going to turn my work just like I was going to work into it before. On an increase, you would chain 5 or 6 here and do an increase and make an extra square. We don't want to do that now because we are done and want to square it off. So instead, what you're going to do is you're going to take your hook and go straight into the actual stitch here. So there's one. We're going to go into this one, and you're just going to make a slip stitch. You're just going to slip stitch, and you're going straight over through each one until you get to that chain 3 space here. Okay? And you slip stitch into that, and then you just begin like you were still working on your increases. You chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then you slip stitch to your next one. 1, 2, 3 chains and 3 doubles all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, and the only difference is that instead of increasing on the end there, you're going to slip stitch across. Now, with corner to corner, one of the things I did not mention at first is you really kind of want to border on this, just because where you slip stitch in and turn that corner every row after on the decrease, it does leave a little bit of a bumpy look, but you don't have to. I mean, it's not imperative. It won't unravel. It won't do anything that you don't want it to do. It just gives it a nice finished look if you do a border on these. So I'm coming up towards the end here. And again, I only had 5 to begin with, so I'm just going to slip stitch here and stop. Where I had 5 here, because I did the decrease on this side, if I'm going to make a square, I'm going to decrease on this side too. And the way to do that is, once you hit that slip stitch, you just turn your work. Okay? There's your corner. It's already there. You're going to slip stitch into all 3 of those stitches until you get to here, and then you're going to start again. So slip stitch into that, and by bump, that's what I'm talking about, is right here. It kind of gives you a little bit of a twist. Again, it's just a visual thing. Most people won't even notice it. You find you're much more critical of your own stuff than anyone else ever will be. So now I'm just going to start, and I'm decreasing. That last one was 5. This is 4. Now we're going to 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch to that one. Oops. Lost my foot in there. Chain 3. Double 3. And again, you're just doing the same things over and over again. That's why I do think this is kind of beginner friendly, because it's repetitive. And that's how we learn, is by repetition. So the more you do it, the easier it'll become. And you can whip these out really quickly. I've done really large blankets out of this in a very short period of time, comparably, you know. And there's my 3rd. Now I'm at that back corner again. See, I'm at this side, and we're just going to slip stitch here and stop. We're not going to make that next one. We have 1, 2, 3, so we're on the right track. We're decreasing every time. So turn, and again, we're going into each one of those actual stitches, one with a slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, and that's how we close it off. And then I always slip stitch into this as well, because now I'm going to chain my 3. 1, 2, 3, and double 3. 1, 2, 3. I like to guide my stitches with my thumb and forefinger, so I'm sorry if it gets in the way. I don't mean to. Go into this one. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 doubles. 1, 2. This should be a much shorter video because it's really not anything drastic. It's just an addendum to the other. And then you slip stitch. And see, we've got 2 here, so we're on our last one. We're just going to turn our work. We're going to slip stitch into these. And again, if you find that I'm going too quickly for you, please feel free to slow down the video or pause and catch up. That makes it a little easier. And then these don't get too lengthy. 1, 2, 3. And this is my last one. And you can see there's a V there ready for it. Go into that. 3 doubles. 2. Whoops. And 3. And you can make these as big as you want. Slip stitch into this. And this is where it's a little different because you end in the, like, almost the middle of the row. And then you just yarn over, cut your yarn if you want, and pull it through, and you're done. That's a full square there. And one of the things I mentioned in the other video is you can tell how many rows you did just by counting either this way, this way, this way, all the ways. All the ways should have the same amount unless you make a rectangle. I do want to show you how to do that. So I've decreased, I'm just going to tear this out. Say I just want to decrease, I want to go for a rectangular figure. When I go back to my 5th row there that we ended off in, okay, whoops, I pulled too far. Happens to everyone. All right, so here's my first decrease right here. That was my row 5. I decreased right there. There's my slip stitches. You can see them, and see there's that curl I was talking about. There's my slip stitches. Now, say I want this side to be shorter than this side. So now I've slip stitched that side. What I want to do then is go ahead and carry this forward. 2, 3, make a full one here. 2, 3. I didn't decrease there. All right. I only decreased on this side. So now I made that, instead of just slipping there and turning, I made my extra one on this side. Now I'm going to turn it. And again, we want that extra. So we're going to chain the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how you do a rectangle. And make sure you go into the 4th chain from the hook or the 3rd chain from the last one. However you prefer. There's 1, 2, whoops, I split it. I'm rushing, sorry guys. And 3. Now you're just going to slip stitch it just like you did on the increases, because that's what you're doing, is an increase. And then you're going to chain your 3 and work your way across. 2, 3. I'm going to do this fairly quickly because I already have the increase video. You know how to do this part, or at least you've got a good grasp of it at this point. If you're looking for the decrease, then you've already been doing this for a while, for as long as or as wide as you want it. And then you're going to slip stitch. I always tend to hold it down like this on the one turn just because it gets in my way. You hold it however you want to hold it. That's the freedom of, crafting. When you're doing it, You do it the way you feel most comfortable. As long as the results are similar or the same, go for it. It's called a modification or just a technique of your own. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so now I have increased. Yep, I did my increase down here. So on this side, I'm not going to increase. I want to, you see, that's where my stitches were, my slip stitches. I want that end to not get any bigger. So now I turn the work and just slip stitch again. The same side that you slip stitch is the one you continue to slip stitch if you want it to be a rectangle other than a square. And then just carry on. Once you get to that first loop, or chain space, I should say, then you just keep going like you're building the blocks, you're filling in the blocks. There's 2, there's 3. There's my next block. Every V you want to build something into. 1, 2, 3. And 3. And I think my rectangle is complete at this point, so I'm going to show you what to do. This is just a sample version. You could go on as long as you want. That is my third, okay. I tend to like, depends. It depends on what you're making it for and who you're making it for and what your graph needs. Sometimes you make a graph to do these and you want a certain picture to fit in it, and it looks better when it's not a square. All right, so here I am. I'm on the increase. That's the last increase I did. I want to stop here. I just want to make a short square or a short rectangle. So now I'm just stopping there. I'm not going to increase again. This would be where my increase would go on a decrease round to make this longer. But we're done making the length. So now we're going to spin it. And we're going to go ahead and slip stitch. This is our decrease. We're going to decrease on both sides now to finish. So this is our second. We're stopping the length now. Ooh. Got splitty there. That's what happens when you rush sometimes. Okay. So we're just going to work our way down to the other side. And now we're done increasing. So every time you turn, instead of making a new increase, you are going to slip stitch across the 3 doubles that you made from whatever that square is below, the below square. 1, 2, 3. And every V, you know, you're going to have to put something in there until you don't want to make it any bigger. And then you're just going to, here we just want to slip that there because we don't want to make it any bigger than that. Okay. So then I turn and I slip stitch. Oh, just make sure you're not missing that first one. I've done that numerous occasions. Real easy to miss it because you get rushing and want to get done. Like, we're really close here. You just want to rush through things, and I get it. I do it. But sometimes it just adds more work to your plate, so just try to be careful. Slip, chain 3, do our 3. Did I chain too many there? No. See, made more work for myself again. All right. Now we're almost to the end, and that's going to be the last to do here. We're going to slip this right to that one. Now, if you stop and look, you have 1 space left. That's it. So when you turn, you know you're going to slip it all the way through all 3 of those doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then into that chain space. Chain your 3 because you got to make the last one. 1, 2, and 3. And now my yarn has a knot in it. Oh, it's just a tangle. It's fine. Here's my 3rd. All right, now you just slip stitch it. There's that space. Slip stitch it right to that. and you can tie it off because you have made a rectangle. And again, you can make it longer this way. You can shorten one side and not the other. It doesn't matter if you want to shorten this side or this side, either way, or keep going. However you want to do it, but that's how you decrease and that's how you change the shape. You can make the square like this, where you just decrease on both sides at the same time, or just decrease on one side and keep going on the other until the length of the square that you want it to be is fulfilled. All right, I hope this was helpful. If you, I would really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, comment, do all the things, do all of them. I'm always checking it out to see if anyone needs a hand or a clap, okay? An attaboy, attagirl. All right, you have a great day. I hope that you'll join me again next time. We're going to do a little graph pattern on the corner to corner with the corner to corner, and I'll show you how to do a mini version, which is what I'd like to do for that. And we will see you again soon, hopefully. Thanks. Bye.